respected audience and friends. Firstly, I'd like to thank you for your incredible and enthusiastic participation in our event. As everyone has been saying, it's been fairly short notice, but we are overwhelmed by your enthusiastic participation from across the country. I would like to assure you all and Veeraswamy Garu that this is the first of many such events we intend to hold, both in Andhra Pradesh and across the country. So we will be holding road shows in other districts of the state as well as other major cities across the country. So we would like it and we'll be very happy to have you all on board in all these events. Also, I'd like to thank you all, especially CIA and Chamber of Commerce and the Andhra Pradesh Chambers for participation in developing the policy. The policy is in the form it is only because all of you actively participated, gave your inputs, pain points and feedbacks so that we can refine it to all your needs. We'll be issuing some follow-up GOs to the policies, giving more targeted inputs, what kind of incentives will be offering to specific sectors, what will be the land allotment policy. For these also we'll be sharing out drafts. We would be very happy if you could all give your inputs so that we can customize it to all your needs. And Veeraswamy Garu, we have noted all the points you've raised and we are working on that, and we look forward to working with you to iron out all these pain points. So I'd like to run you through the key highlights of the tourism policy. I am sure all of you have read through it, but this is just a revision. So broadly, next, okay, next Andy. This broadly we'll be talking about the Andhra Pradesh state, the vision for the state, mission, incentives, and the key partnerships. Next Andy. So a quick overview of the state. The state is well connected with over 8,500 kilometers of national highways. We are part of the Eastern Peripheral Expressway and we have nearly 1,000 kilometers of a coastline, which is very valuable and makes us a very major hotspot for tourism. We have one major port and 5 non-major ports, and we are in the process of developing 4 new greenfield ports. We are also part of National Waterway 4. In the rail network, we are part of 2 new dedicated freight corridors and 2 metro projects. As you know, first phases have been recently approved. 3 international airports, and the most exciting is seaports, which we are working very consciously and closely with Government of India to identify potential places for seaports and come up with an enabling ecosystem so that both investors and surrounding tourism areas become attractive and approachable. Next, we have a young population with 70% of our 5 crore population in a working age. We have over 250 engineering colleges and 300 diploma colleges, more than 30 to 40 in universities and higher skill educational institutions, which turn out highly skilled students and workforce every year, over tens of thousands per annum. AP State Skill Development Corporation is working to skill the other people with lesser education to enable them to participate in different forms of the workforce. Next. The AP tourism sector is giving a gross value add for currently to the economy of 4.6%. We are number 3 in domestic footfall, about 30 crore people, mostly largely temple tourism. Bulk of them are for temple tourism. We are ranked only number 16 in foreign footfalls. In fact, because of this, the average spend of a tourist in the state is around 1,700 rupees as opposed to 40 to 50,000 in a lot of other states. Employment contribution from tourism sector for the state is 12%, and 3,500 rooms we have currently in the inventory. In fact, tourism is a very important sector because it is one of the most highest potential for increasing employment at all skill levels. So that is one of the major reasons the government is focusing on it. Next. So we have identified the key challenges for the sector's growth. One is of course the skill development, the low share of high spending tourists, as I already mentioned, limited expansion beyond religious tourism. Most of our tourists are pilgrims, and they just come visit the temple and go rather than spend more time. And this could be because of obviously a limited number of rooms available, lesser connectivity, poor connectivity, And of course, wayside infrastructure. Andhra Pradesh geographically is a linear state which covers over five major cities outside the state are closely linked to the state. Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Bhubaneswar, Calcutta. People transit, but wayside infrastructure, which is a high potential area, is limited so far. Next. Recently, the Honorable Chief Minister of the state announced this Swarnandhra vision. Next. In that, the tourism vision for 2047 is to make India a premier hub for, make Andhra Pradesh a premier hub for India and the world with religious, spiritual, coastal, ecological and wellness experience. And we want to do this with the participation of communities, local communities, and ensure sustainable and ecological development. Next. So the goal for 2047 is to increase the employment opportunities from the current 12% to 20% with a sustainable and responsible manner, making sure that we protect delicate ecosystems and historic artifacts, bring about world-class infrastructure for connectivity as well as for tourist stays, increase the economic impact by increasing the gross value added from 4.6% to 20%, and make India the top 3 destination for, make Andhra Pradesh the top 3 destination for the country, both domestically and internationally. Next. So what does this mean in the next 5 years? What are our goals for the next 5 years? In the next 5 years, we have very targeted goals. We want to bring about 25,000 crores worth of private investment across various categories of tourist ecosystem, which this will mean that we increase the room inventory from 3,500 to 10,000, and we increase the GVA from 4.6% to 8%, make Andhra Pradesh within the top 10 states for foreign tourist arrivals, increase the average stay of the tourist from 5 days to 12 days, from 1 to 2 days to 5 days, 12 is I guess future, and the spend from 1,700 to 25,000, and bring about creating 5 lakh new jobs in the state for the tourism sector. Next, Andy. We have come up with the next set of strategies for this, which is both to build about world-class infrastructure, both physical infrastructure as well as human resources. So these will be the strong foundation on which we will build and we will create a diversified positioning and branding through sustainable mechanism and bring about a solid regulatory framework. Next, I'll go into the details now. The world-class infrastructure, as I was saying, expanding room inventory. One is, of course, the classified inventory to 10,000, but also bring in small bread and breakfast, homestays. So this will be both formal and informal ways of bring about increased room inventory. This will consequently increase spend and stay in the state. And of course, allied infrastructure around key identified tourist spaces. So this could be riverfront activities, gardens, parks, eco-friendly activities, etc. Multimodal and last mile connectivity. Again here, as I said, seaplane, inland waterways, cruises. These are the things which will be our target areas because they have high impact and low hanging fruits for us for the next 5 years. Wayside amenities, as I already said. And for homestays, we will be focusedly bringing about a regulatory framework. As Sir was saying earlier, when he went to Germany, there was a ensured guaranteed quality in homestays. So we will aim to bring that about in Andhra Pradesh also. Next, the secretary will be going into this part of the thing in more detail, but I will just briefly talk about diversification and destination development. We've identified 7 anchor hubs for the state. Of these, Arku and Tirupati will be the short and medium term. So we are putting all our energy over the next few years immediately on these 2 places. But we have a longer term plan for Visakhapatnam, Rajahmundry, Amravati, Srisailam and Gandikota. In all these places, as you will see ahead, we've already started a lot of work, huge infrastructure works with the support of both private participants, state of Andhra Pradesh as well as government of India. Next, Andy. We will be working on developing 25 thematic circuits, which include 10 temple circuits, which will go beyond Tirupati and surrounding areas. Buddhist circuits, which is our highest potential for increasing foreign footfall, and beach, river and cruise circuits and ecotourism circuits. So the circuit could be a broader area with a longer distances, as well as nearby surrounding areas. Like if you come to Tirupati, after you see the temple, what else can you do surrounding areas? Or if you want to do a road trip all along the coast, how do you plan and position it? How do we develop infrastructure? So it will be on a scale, varied amount of scale, catering to local, domestic and international tourists. So this kind of nuanced layering will be brought into the planning process so that it can have a comprehensive view. Next. The branding, one of the most important aspects of tourism is something we've already started work on. We will be floating RFPs shortly for, one is for a marketing, branding and a promotional partner, as well as for empaneling partners for doing event management. So the drafts are ready, we are working in place. Today also we will be holding some sessions with potential partners to understand what is it, how they can participate better with us. We are also working on coming up with a uniform branding and positioning for Andhra Pradesh and every single of its destinations. This will also have a strong base of technology, both as a website, apps, enabling infrastructure for tourists so that they know where to go, how to access and what to do once they get there. Collaboration and partnerships with variety of partners, year-long calendars, as well as targeting our diaspora, who are also another good foreign footfall target. So diaspora ke liye we will have specific targeted activities for connecting with ancestors and going back to hometown, etc. Next, skilling manpower is as one of the most important aspects of our strategy. We will be working with people of varieties of backgrounds who are engaged with tourism. It could be something as simple as guides, people who operate boats, or it could be someone who drives an auto. As the tourist experience is actually not a very targeted experience. It is about every single point someone who comes from outside the state or outside the city engages with the city or the place. So it will be every touch point, and every touch point will need to be trained and skilled in order to have a positive impact for the tourist.